The gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. If you are listening to the Passion, you heard the word remember. Jesus, sharing a final supper with his disciples, took the cups of blessing, took the bread, and he spoke that he would not again eat at this feast until the kingdom had been fulfilled. And he broke the bread and he shared the cup and said, "Do it in remembrance of me." Remember. Come, be a member with me again. Do you remember as you receive the bread and the cup at our communion table? Do you put yourself into the body of Christ again, even as he puts his body into you? His blood, a transfusion of life for you. And then later on in the story, we have Peter, so much like us in his discipleship, always wanting to be there, glad to be one of the three that Jesus is counted on as his most intimate friends, now even there when Jesus goes into the garden to pray. But Jesus has also told him that despite his desire to be faithful, Peter will come up short. He will fail. He will deny even knowing Jesus. How like us. When the going gets rough and we think we can choose another path, we simply give up the path that God desires for us. And when Jesus tells Peter that, Peter cannot believe that in a few short hours he will be in a courtyard where people will say, "I know you. You were also with him. Certainly you were with him. You were also a Galilean. I see you, man." Nope. 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 I do not know the man. And when the cock crows, as Jesus had said, Peter remembers and weeps bitterly. How many times have you and I, placing ourselves again in the body of Christ and the fellowship of this God who desires us, how many of us have wept bitterly, understanding our sin? And then the thief on the cross, knowing that he deserves as just punishment this crucifixion that is painful, but certainly not Jesus. He had done nothing except love and heal and speak the truth of God. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Remember me. Make me a member with you again. And Jesus says to him, as he says it to each of us, you will be in paradise with me. Remember. This week has so much for us to remember, but maybe today just pausing to also know that God remembers us. The word remember is throughout the Old Testament. Whenever God promises in a covenant to be with us, God remembers the covenant and stays faithful. He wants to be one with us. He wants to commune with us. He wants to reside in our hearts and in our minds. He wants to be a member with us again. The only thing that God promises never to remember is our sin. That's the promise. I will remember your sin no more. So these rocks, these represent what we get caught up in. Our sinful betrayal, denial, the way we judge, the way we condemn, not just God, but the face of Christ in one another. These rocks represent our fate, that certainly each and every one of us will face death, even as we face the utter despair of the death of loved ones. These rocks represent everything right up to the time we are laid in our own tombs. And we leave them at Christ's cross, because all through this Lent we've been saying, on Christ, a solid rock, we stand. And Christ will take these rocks and remember a promise and bring us yet a victory we cannot accomplish on our own. This is good news. Let us remember. Amen.